Hey people, it's me. I think it's about time I made an intro, so here goes. On my channel, I talk about being black and managing mental health, so I'm just going to walk you through my personal journey so you can fully understand my passion. I've been like this ever since I can remember. Sometimes I'm vocal, sometimes I'm not. One of my high school teachers finally noticed some potential underneath it all and decided to help me hone into it. The only problem is men started seeing it too. Insert ex-husbands who were great initially. He was providing. I started getting more attention. He didn't handle it well. I had a little fun modeling in college. But after studying, I wanted us to have fun. College parties were supposed to be for networking and having fun. But those dudes in the back right there, yep, he wanted them gone. So I'm not the registrar, so I didn't know what he wanted me to do about it. I read some books or whatever. Figured out that maybe womanhood is the answer. I told myself I'd give it a shot. I cooked other things. Then I cut my hair short for transformative purposes. Fought off thoughts, wished people would, and I was very proud of myself. Until he felt like this was a problem. We disagreed, so I had to remind him what vows are for.
I didn't say sell me. I said give.
Anyway, I went to hang out with the girls, get back to the boss me we all know and love, question myself. Then I got into some musical endeavors. I had a little trouble finding my niche, but the fast life got boring, so okay, so what next? Just going through the motions, just being there, but over it. Insert baby daddy. I was cynical, but I went for it. Why not? Yeah, then I regretted it. Started my natural hair and nail journey. Now I'm just out here trying to avoid poverty, giving advice, saving money, devoting my time to being black, elevating my career, missing my bestie, eating right now. Arguing with certain chicks, trying to make this lady happy so I can glow again. To be continued.
Okay, welcome everybody. I just wanted to give y'all some time to come in. Y'all can see why I started the channel and what to expect over here. So today I have a special guest. This is Mario Lydell Addison, and I'm gonna let him introduce himself to you guys. Okay. So I'm waiting on two guests to come up. Triple X and Mario, they're going to come up, and today we're talking about the impact of religion in the black community. So we're gonna start off by here we go. Okay, Mario.
Yeah, I'm back. I don't know what the hell that was, but how you doing? I wouldn't say special guest, but I appreciate that.
No problem. We're talking about a special topic.
Yeah, a special topic. Yeah, more like.
Okay, so you want to introduce yourself to the people when they're listening to you speak? What do they need to keep in mind? What do they need to know about you specifically?
Well, I want to make sure, since this is a very touchy subject, because we're dealing with black people. I want to let people but let my brothers and sisters know that anything I say, always preface it and keep in mind that anything that I say, I'm looking at myself first. So, again, we talking about the word of God. So first thing you need to understand, the way I look at it is that when you're talking about the word, it's going to cut you first before it cuts anybody else. So if I say it, I'm also speaking about myself first. So I'm not one of those people that's going to use the word or weaponize it to cut other people. It's cutting into me as well. So,
which, by the way, is actually what it means to take the Lord's name in vain. Weaponizing the scriptures against other people when you haven't applied them to yourself first. Calling him when you're not actually trying to change or need any real help. So a lot of people use the warnings in the scripture wrong. And so hopefully we can get to enough of those today to see whether this is something that's beneficial. There's a lot of back and forth in the Black community. There's a split, a divide based on should we keep Christianity? Does it matter who we got Christianity from? And those people who feel like, yeah, we're going to do something different. We need to do something different. Right. Hey, Mace, welcome. And I'm going to, Mace, I'm going to drop my email in the chat. And that way you can email me. But if y'all are still live, when I finish, I'll come over there. So I also have here Triple X. And so Triple X, when people are listening to you speak here today, what should they keep in mind? What do the people need to know about you?
I think you're muted right now.
Oh, wait. Okay.
There we go.
Triple X.
Can you hear him?
No, Triple X. Triple X, you kind of low. You far away from the mic. Triple X, can you see this? Could you?
Everybody else, it ain't really much respect about it. And, yeah, she went wrong. Oh, go ahead. What you gonna say?
No, you're kind of far away. I think he may be doing some taking care of some business. So he may not
Oh.
Okay. So I'll just okay, so he muted himself. Okay, yeah, 1 second. Okay. So what we'll go ahead and do is we'll get started into the first topic, right? So the first topic has to do specifically with picking and choosing scriptures based on what the individual likes to engage in. So Mario talked to us a little bit about his viewpoint in terms of picking and choosing scriptures. So I'll go ahead and share mine. One of the things that I was taught growing up is that you follow all of the law, or either, you don't get to then hit people over the head with it. A lot of people like to interpret that as you follow all of it or none of it, which means if you make one mistake, that means you just give up on everything else. No. See, and here's my understanding of Christianity. I'll go ahead and tell you guys that I do think that Christianity should remain a staple in the Black community, because we do need something bigger than ourselves to look up to answer to, right? It's God and his creations, the community, family, and yourself. And so I'm not saying that you have to always put yourself at a detriment, but what I am saying is that when life gets down for you, instead of being miserable, you can look up and realize that there's layers of things bigger than you. Everything is not about you, that you're going to be okay because there's other people working as well. So I do think we need to understand the importance of a higher power. We didn't do this. And I hear a lot of Black people, when they start calling themselves king and queen, they get very involved and very attached to thinking that they can do any and everything. And that's not what it's for. We've always been a culture that believed that there was something bigger than us, that we didn't, our one person selves, do it. So to me, picking and choosing the scripture, I feel like you are supposed to be working on the parts that you don't get right, not just throw away the whole book. And if you haven't judged yourself, whatever it is that you're getting ready to tell this person, You need to either have been able to face it and overcome it, and now you're coming from that predicament, or either you've been able to avoid it. Either way, you need to have some expertise that you're trying to bring to this person. Otherwise, you're using the scripture in vain. So what do you think?
Nah, I wholeheartedly agree with that. When you spoke in regards to the law, I always reiterate, and you know, and it's not picking brothers, because I actually I'm pretty good friends with a lot of Hebrew Israelites. You know, they're actually here. A lot of them pretty heavy here in the city that I'm in. Now I'm in the Metro Atlanta area. They're pretty heavy here around the Southwest side, downtown West End area. They in large part are a proponent of keeping the laws, but to what you just reiterated to about, if you're going to hold a law, you have to keep all the laws, which is one of the reasons why, you know, I don't want to get into, you know, what name suffices for people. Jesus Christ is okay with me, you know, because that's a rabbit hole argument, right? But what I'm saying, what I'm saying is, you can't pick and choose which laws that you want to, because what they'll do a lot of times, not just them, but just anybody, white, black, brown, yellow, they pick and choose certain laws and then they discard the other ones. And what I tend to find is the laws they discard is usually involving some behavior they like to engage in. Now, this is a touchy one for me, for most people, but not for me. You got some guys, a lot of men that will say they can have multiple wives. I don't agree with that. One man, one wife. And the reason why I say that, which goes into why Jesus died, one of the reasons why he came to die for our sins, was because the law was bounding people. Like, as soon as they wake up, they've already done something wrong. So they had to find they needed a way out. That was one of the ways why Jesus came and died. So the law was fulfilled. So now, in this day and age, what we living in after Jesus died, you know, you're being saved by grace, you know, just in your belief alone. So with the whole wife thing, my counter always to that is Romans 1. And a lot of theologian experts and things, they don't know, but they believe, based on the writing style, that Romans 1 was written by Paul. And I believe that as well, but that's the greatest book of the Bible to me, because he goes into homosexuality, marriage, if you're going to be single, so to speak, being abstinence from sex. Also talking about it's better to marry than to burn, and one man, one woman in marriage. And I notice a lot of people who tend to say they can have multiple wives, they disregard Paul. I've never heard them talk about Paul when they talk about having multiple wives. So that's one of the things that you know, that's where I am on that.
Okay, how about you, Triple X? Right now, what we're talking about is people picking and choosing scriptures based on what they find wrong. They either don't apply it to themselves first before they judge anybody else, or either they pick and choose which scriptures they're going to follow based on what it is that they like, the ones that say it's okay for them to do what they want.
Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah, sorry for that interference up front. Yeah, call.
No problem.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. I think that's major facts. You know, I know a lot of people that pick and choose and set up, cherry pick, so to say, things out of the Bible, New Testament, Old Testament, and modify that around how they live, but while ignoring other important lessons and stories within the Bible that also apply, and that's also equally important, just for their benefit in their way of living in life, you know? So, like, you know, it's a lot of aspects that a lot of people overlook. You know, it's a lot of bloodshed, you know, it's a lot of sacrifice, you know, and a lot of people like to skip over those things and just kind of, how can I put this? They just kind of like trying to adhere to certain stories or lessons within the Bible that benefit them in their situation specifically, you know, and call out quotes and quote Bible verses that benefit what they got going on specifically, and not ignoring other things that's just as important. So I know I definitely agree with that wholeheartedly.
And what scriptures do y'all hear being misquoted the most? So Mario gave us one, which is Romans 1, where they're avoiding that if they want to have more than one wife. Because see, here's the thing: in biblical days, they did have more than one wife, but it was for a purpose. The most of the men were dying, protecting, the empire, and so the women had to give birth in order to replenish that. That's where they were. Second of all, those men were taking care of all of those women and their children. The men weren't just knocking up the women and then like, hey, leaving and skying up like these men are trying. Because the only people out here bringing that up are men who have left their children or either a baby mama in the past. I never hear anybody that's married or somebody that wants to be married talk about taking care of more than one group as a family. The one you mentioned about Mary over burn, right? Yeah. Well, see, I think that isn't there a part that they're leaving out of that where they're talking to men saying that if you want to truly live a blessed life, you devote your life to God, which means there isn't a whole lot of pump and dump or marriage and children and all of that. But if you can't do that, and you know that is who you are, that you should marry, because otherwise you will be committing fornication, which is a sin worthy of hellfire, right? So they're leaving out the part, at the beginning.
Right. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they just they basically got the wrong context for it, and they're not stating the whole verse. No, I agree.
Yeah, because the people use that verse to shame people. Like you have a family member that's 25 that's not married, but they also don't have any kids, right? So the family's harping on them saying, hey, it's better to marry than to burn. And if you think about it, in our culture, we still believe that if somebody is single, that they're sleeping with a bunch of people. We can't fathom the idea that somebody is focused on their purpose.
But then again, that's true. That goes back to what you said initially about picking and choosing. People especially black people, we are very peculiar people. We like to project. And when I say we, I'm speaking in general, of course. So you remember what I prefaced my initial statement with. We don't feel that the next black male or female can actually attempt to be righteous and live righteous. So when a person say they're on their walk with the Lord and they're abstaining from sex, this another depraved Negro, you know how Negroes are in their mind, they're gonna say, well, shit, in their mind, they're internalizing it. I can't do that, so this nigga can't do it either. So so that's where that starts from right there. And if a person, male or female, chooses, if they have done a lot of bad things and they like sexual sin, just you said something like pumping and dumping, which I'm not really in that red pill space. I had some young guys, and a couple of them are listening right now. I pulled them away from it because, I'm really, really from the street like that. And I know game when I hear it and bullshit when I hear it. And a lot of these guys are just selling bullshit to a lot of men out here who are hiding behind avatars, don't know which way to go. They say a lot of these guys are young. They just got turned down by their first girl that they thought that was going to be their girlfriend, and then they come on these spaces, and now they got this anger toward.
Damn, Mario, get him!
And what I'm doing is I pull them away. And what I'm doing is I pull at least almost 10 of them away so far. So you can't save them all. Let you do your job as well. If you got a few brothers out here you can pull under your wing, that's all we can do is black men out here, man. We can't save them all. I'm done trying to save and change people. Like a good pastor, God rest his soul, his wife still carries the ministries up in Louisville, Kentucky. His name is Pastor Stephen Darby. I've been donating their ministries for years. He is a straight up preacher. His wife carries on the ministries. He calls out men for their mischievous behavior. He calls out women for their mischievous behavior. He would not agree with this red pill bullshit that's going on where they hating on females and okay, I'll say this. Do I see the stuff that's going on with a lot of women out here? Yes. But you know what? The man is the glory of God. The woman is the glory of the man. So if you want to sit up here on these podcasts and talk shit about women 24/7, that's a reflection of you, homeboy.
Yep, because that means you're not walking in nothing.
And I'll say this, and I'll turn the panel over. I've never been in a relationship with a woman that if she was out and about, she looked raggedy. That's never happened in my life. Now, I'm talking to you, Topaz, and Lex on the panel. You ain't gonna call me a simp for that, because if that's my woman, I'm supposed to be a leader. She's a representative of me. She's my glory. So if you see her, she's gonna always be beautiful, be immaculate, be on point, be well spoken, be confident. These guys are saying that's simping. That's insane to me.
Well, they're not viewing the woman, as you stated, as an extension of them, as a reflection and glory of them. Because here's the thing, the woman is the glory of the man, because it speaks to who you choose. We're going to talk about Revelations later on in the stream, but that is where you know the point of you having to decide between two types of women. There are the Jezebels that lead you down the wrong path, and their interaction with them seems to be good at first, but then you find out later that it was all a ploy, and you get messed up big time because of it. And then there are the women that keep and hold laws that may be boring, but they will be the ones that will lead you into glory. So the point of the woman being the glory of the man is for you being able to choose, a woman that can do that for you. Like, because you're gonna keep, unless you're gonna be a monk, you're gonna interact with women.
Right. Hey, Lex, I don't want to take up your time, Lex, because but I'll say this in short, and this is why I harp on Paul so much, because Paul always reiterated when he got saved, he acknowledged that he had a gift. He had a gift of abstaining from touching himself and from and being sexual fornication. Now let's just keep this shit real. Even if most people aren't fornicating, we know a lot of people out here self-fornicate.
Right.
So what Paul had was an absolute gift. Now, since January, I have been trying. I've been trying. You know what I mean? Especially with the dates, seeing women and all that, because I'm really trying to turn a new leaf. Because I'm trying to go into the next stage in my life and see what other doors that the Lord gonna open for me. So I can give you. I promise to God, since January, I've abstained from all that. It's been hard, but I'm trying. I got a goal right now of 60 days. Well, not 60 days, but about the first 6 months. If I can get for the first 6 months, the rest of the year is gonna be easy for me. But it's hard right now.
Yeah. Lex, you gonna add to that?
Go ahead. What you say, Topaz?
No, I was saying, were you gonna add to? I know you was trying to get in there, so I was letting you know you got the floor.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No. To add on to what Mario was saying is, in this space in particular, it's a real slippery slope. Especially like when we get to talking about the red pill and brothers being in this space, like in a lot of ways it's great because it's a lot of game in this space too. It's a lot of real game in this space too, because there's some real quality thorough guys in this space, but it's a lot of whiners and complainers and crybabies in this space too. So so it really varies per channel, like what you're getting, and unfortunately some channels actually have good content and also have bad content at the same time. So and that's another story, but I ain't gonna do a deep dive on that because that's gonna start trouble. So I'm gonna be cool. And I'm gonna speak my man type of guy, but hey man, we know the deal. But you can hit me with some. You can hit me with some of those channels in the email, man. Because again, I will.
I'm still low key new to this space, and I don't really want to, like I say, man. My game, my street sense kicked in real quick when I was hearing certain words. And see, what I find when I listen to a lot of these videos that some of my little homies share with me is that a lot of the lingo these guys are using are from the pimp hoe game. But they're applying it to dating and relationships. That let me know off the rip that you're a square. You can't relate to a pimp when it comes to that. They talking about like game and macking and things. And I'm like, you wouldn't know about that. You didn't have a stable before. You're talking about macking in the dating game. That doesn't make any sense. So that let me know that was a red flag to me off the rip when they were showing these videos. And some of these young guys that I talk to, man, here's another thing too, and I'm gonna turn the panel back over, is that when I was listening to some of my little homies tell me about their experiences with women, the first thing I noticed is that their experiences, they didn't have the same experiences as the content creators that they're listening to, which tells me that you are upset because a girl you wanted turned you down, and you internalize that and you start hating all women. Bro, we
Right.
all got turned down by a girl that was too hot to trap when she was young, feeling herself because she had the world at her fingertips. It's okay. You didn't have a big homie to tell you that this is what it is. Get over it. Here you go, bro. Hit a little bit of this blunt. Get you a beer. You'll be all right. It's gonna be another one. They didn't have that. They turned to the internet. And they got these other weirdos that got big platforms telling them to lie, pump and dump, do all this weirdo stuff.
Right.
Hey, Mario. Go ahead. I know who you talking about.
You good, bro. No, you good. I'm here because I'm here for a reason. Because, you know, like I say, it may not be the biggest channel, but the content, the quality of the content here is better. I'm here to listen.
Yeah. No, I hear you. You see what I just put in the side chat, brother?
Yeah. Yeah.
I got a feeling that that's who you talking about too. Am I lying?
Oh, wait a
Mario?
minute. Hold on. Let me see.
Look off to the side, to the right.
In the private chat.
Oh, okay. I see. He's one of them because
Okay.
I've been having my little homies share the names of these content creators. They've been sending me these names in the message box. And you know, here's another thing that's weird to me. We go around talk about what up, King, and all this shit, and you know, I'm very hard on men. I'm not cutting no nigga no slack. We don't need it. These niggas run around talking about what up, King, and all this. What king do you know goes around in line to get some ass from a woman?
Right.
I want you. I'm gonna be direct with it. If you say no, it's good. I'm on to the next.
Yeah.
But simultaneously, you calling yourself a king. That doesn't make any sense. That don't make any sense. If she shoot you down, she shoot you down.
I know.
That's
who you
real
talking
simple.
about.
Yeah, not just him. All
Right.
of them. Well, all of them, with the exception of one. And if I say the exception of one so far, I think you should know exactly who I'm talking about. Very verbal, very direct.
Oh yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There
know,
you go.
no doubt.
There you go. And the fact that women like him and a lot of men hate him tell you everything you need to know about this space.
Yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
here's the thing. I just feel like some of the things that are being pushed, if it's being pushed out of spite. You know, one of the things that hurts men when they do get rejected, right? Yeah, it's messed up. It hurt your feelings for a few days. But then people don't let you move on. They come along and they tell you that it's you the problem. You got to change everything about you and that you're wrong if you don't immediately throw out your whole personality to be what they think this person might want. You know, like that's not helpful to the person because that's that may or may not even be the person that may or may not even be the reason why that person is rejecting you right now. I feel like if you get a rejection, we don't need to rub it in as a people into the person's face. Let that person live because that means this is not the person that wants all of them truly, genuinely who they are. That's somebody else out there. But if they change trying to get this person, they're not going to have that person and they're going to miss out on the person that's made for them. So we need to stop shaming people that go through a rejection. It's life. And, you know, move on. We need to support each other and remind each other that it's okay and it's possible to move on.
I think, yeah, that's facts. Hey, can I jump in here?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think some of the major frustration in this space in regards to women pretty much kind of, at least from what I can see, kind of comes from this somewhat also. Especially in this culture, when you get young, attractive, and I've seen this firsthand, you know, you got young, attractive women, and me and Topaz, I kind of got into this a little bit on the last panel I was on with her. And yeah, the thing is about that is in other cultures, it's not unusual for a young guy to go out, get do well in school, get his career, and get mid-20s, late 20s, and for him to get with a really attractive girl. And the reason why that is because that girl is already looking to be married and she's trying to get out of the game anyway. You know,
Mm-hmm.
No fine Asian or white girl that's 30, that's getting close to 30 is trying not to get married. She's definitely trying to get married. You know, she ain't
Right.
looking at 35 and single, no matter how fine she is. So, and that's just the game. That's how they culture work. And same go for Latinas and stuff. Like, but in the black culture, like, the thing is like a lot of those guys, and I'm not saying it can't be done, but I know what I see as a whole with other races, because I know a lot of other races, and I know a lot of those guys, and they just got regular jobs, and you look up and you're like, man, this guy's got like a hot, super hot wife. You know what I'm saying? And like young too, you know. And in the black community, it's like, you know, they on Instagram. They want to have a big roster. And I mean, it's frustrating to a lot of guys. You know what I'm saying? Because I've listened to a lot of these conversations on here, and I can see that firsthand. That's frustrating to a lot of guys, because when you have a lot of times you have a young, attractive woman like that in the African American community, she's trying to see what she can really get out of that. You know, she ain't really looking to just get with no regular guy making 50 or 60K. That's just really what it is. And that's frustrating for a lot of guys. So that's got to be kept in mind too.
True. And that's why I do talk to women about A, being realistic, and B, understanding that, like, it's still to your benefit for you to at least be cordial. Like, you know, if you're gonna reject a dude and you gonna waste your time chasing after the same dude and competing with 30 women, you need to be ready to handle it on your own if you don't get to be one of the chosen. You chose that path. You don't get to take that out on other men. You don't get to take it out on other women.
Yeah. That's facts, Topaz, for sure. You know, you don't hear a lot. That's great that you said that. I mean, I don't hear a lot of women, especially younger women under 40, like, say things like that, you know, but black women at least. But yeah, I mean, that has frustrated a lot of people in this space, because a lot of these guys, the thing that's interesting about this space is it's not really filled with unsuccessful guys. You know, I'm sure there's a few here and there, but most of the guys in the space are actually doing fairly well for themselves. Even the guys that aren't, you know, most of the guys that's not doing good with women, they're actually doing great in like their professional lives or whatever. But like, when it comes to the woman, I think a lot of them probably set out and they had expectations of probably being able to get them a nice little 8 or something, and reality came and smacked them in the face.
Right.
That may not be happening quite as easy as they thought, but you know, that's what the game is, you know. So hey.
Well, to me, I feel like that's the reason why we need a Most High, why we need something bigger than ourselves, right?
Yeah.
So I was watching Roots last month, and that is, I like the fact that he did that, the thing that's greater than yourself, you know? And the reason is because let's say that you are a 4, right, on a scale of 1 to 10. Let's just say a consensus happens where most people alive feel like you're a 4 on a scale of 1 to 10 attractiveness. You have to live with that, right? And so one thing that you could find comfort in is that there's something bigger than you. There's a reason why there needs to be 4s, and that there is a plan laid out for you where you can have happiness. It just ain't gonna be everything that you wanted it to be, but the things that you have to suffer for have a purpose, a reason that's bigger than you. And so then you relieve yourself of having to always be the one to explain why you're accepting something, instead of going get a bunch of crazy surgeries and then looking like a disfigured 4 instead of just a regular 4.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because and then they go out and get these surgeries when they older too, like 37, 30. I mean, that's not old, don't get me wrong, but I mean, it's just, hey, I say to any woman, just get serious about working out and diet. You know, if you really want to improve your looks, your body, do that, you know, and that'll help, that'll do wonders. But like all of that, putting your health at risk and all that, it just really ain't worth it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's short-lived. And
Yeah.
there's a reason why. Like, if you think that there's a reason why you're born the way you are, then it's easier to live with it instead of you just trying, having to listen to everybody tell you, oh, well, you should change this, you should do that.
Yeah.
No, some things you cannot overcome because you're not supposed to, because somebody got to walk that path. It's something in
Yeah.
it that you'll be able to enjoy it if
Yeah.
you stop listening to other people.
Hey, did you get a chance to see that All-Star weekend video that's going around about the girl? And she's talking with her dude, and she's doing the All-Star weekend, and he didn't want her to go.
I saw two of them. I saw
Yeah.
one where the girl was packing, and he was
Yeah.
like, well, why do you need to go? And then I saw another one where he
Yeah.
was like, look who just got back from Atlanta.
Right. Now you see, that right there is a prime example of what I'm talking about. In what I was just talking about in regards to the manosphere. That's a prime example. That's what a lot of those guys are essentially dealing with, and that's
Mhm.
attractive young girl, and
Mhm.
that's what they're dealing with, and that's their frustration. But and on the contrary, a lot of other women from other cultures and races at that age, they really wouldn't be, a lot of those that might look like that, they might be ready to settle down, so that's what's frustrating a lot of brothers. But hey, it is what it is. But yeah, that's a funny video.
It is funny, and it is very accurate. And my take on that is, like, if you gonna hang out and you gonna party and live your life, that's fine. Do it when you're younger, when you still have time to bounce back. And it shouldn't be a whole decade worth of experiences that you need, right? Take you one gap year or something and get all your wild seeds you try to sow, and then sit down somewhere. Like, why are we not happy to see couples together? And you know why? We were taught, at least starting with my generation, it was you fast and you deserve something bad happening to you if you focusing on boys instead of your books. Why weren't my elders able to talk to us about a balance, about understanding that both things are needed, that there is a time and a place for each one? But no, you know why? Because we have lazy, lackluster parents that want to go off, do whatever they want to do. When something big catches their eye, they want to come over and kill it right then without even thinking about what it is or how it can be used, right? They don't check and see if they got the answer right or what they're saying. They just come over, I want that to stop. Don't explain nothing. And now, like, then you get women who feel like men are disposable. That is a horrible thing if you are trying to get married. You literally get shunned for trying to be married.
But I can you hear
Go
me?
ahead, Mario. You got it.
Okay, I didn't see the bubble popping up around my face, man. Forgive me. This is my first time on the live, but what I will say is that yeah. But what I will say is that, and again, we talking about God, we talking about right and wrong. I'm not caping for that'll bubble go. I'm not caping to take up for females if they doing wrong. Right. But if they are, but my thing is in our culture, well, not culture, because we really don't have one if you really think about it. And if we do have a culture, it's a destructive one as a whole, or the culture that's actually perpetrated on us on TV, media, everywhere, 24/7. Even in these comedy skits, it's dysfunction. That's why I don't even like looking at it. They get a big booty chick, they get some dusty nigga doing comedy and going through the growing pains of relationships. But these girls don't really get to know what it's like to see a man interact with a woman, a man, albeit, i.e. being her father, interacting with her mother. Because, not an Oedipus complex, but a boy's first love, most times, is his mom. And a girl's first love is her dad. Not in that type of sense, like I said, like I hinted at the Oedipus complex, but more so, damn, this is the type of person where when I grow up, I want the man I want to be like my father. And the boy grows up and say, I want a woman that I choose to be like my mother. You leave your parents, you cleave unto your wife, as the Bible say. So that's your new family. She comes first, he comes first. If you're a daughter, you got a man, the husband comes first. You're a boy, you leave your parents, you cleave unto your wife. She comes first before anything else. But we don't know, and the women don't know a lot of instances, and we can blame white supremacy and all that stuff. Okay, that's a fact. But here's the problem with it. We all know what the problem is now. So once you know what the problem is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to continue to engage in the same behavior? Or are you going to work on yourself and do your due diligence on building yourself, doing your self-improvement, your self-work spiritually, whatever you need to do to be a betterment for the whole? Our problems are real simple. It's not that deep. Most of us don't want to look in the mirror and look at ourselves and say, I ain't shit. And I'm 37. I'll be 38 at the end of the month. I was forced to look at myself in the mirror when I was 14 years old and say, the track I'm on, I would not be here in 2 years. That's how bad I was going.
But at least you were able to say that.
Yeah, exactly. You know? And most people aren't able to say that. And that's another, again, remember I told you in the beginning, I'm going to self-reflect first. And you absolutely right. And the people that I run across that are at that crossroads in their life, I do my best. And it's taxing sometimes because I'm up like 16 hours a day. And I try my best, male or female. I have a lot of young female friends that I know, white, black, brown, but mainly black. And I try to steer them the best way I can to make the best decisions that's going to help better their life, because they don't understand looking down the road, looking into the future. And a lot of them do come from single parent households, being at home with the mother. And then in some cases, I have seen the mother. And I'm like, I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm being honest. Like, damn, if she do this, she just going to be repeating what her mother did. She's going to have a daughter. She's going to train her daughter or son to be weak and train the daughter to be strong and do the same thing that her mother taught her to do. And it's just going to keep continuing. And Topaz, remember what I told you before we got into the chat? I said the primary reason why I have not had children is because I want to make sure that I stop all generational curses. So no demons, nothing spiritual, nothing evil will have access to my children. It stops with me. So when I have my first child, which I know for a fact is going to be a girl, I just know that I think the Lord control. The Lord gonna control me. That girl gonna be just like me, look like me. I'm gonna beat her ass as soon as she born. And now I'm just teasing.
I know. Look at you, already scared. But see, I'm glad that you're able to show that side. I know you kind of funny right now, but but there's some truth in these jokes. I mean, we can blame everything on slavery, but how long are we gonna keep looking at slavery as the answer and not say that, okay, that's been enough time. We should be able to have come up with a plan to overcome it. Yes, it's good to know the why and the source of things, but you can't stay there. You got to use that information to figure out what the solution is and what you're capable of. And with that, I feel like it's a good time to transition to our second topic, right? So, genetic Hebrews versus grafted Hebrews. Why do so many Black people feel that no one non-Black will enter heaven when Scripture said that every tongue, tribe, and nation was there? Now, I have not met a lot of Black people that said that only Black people are going to heaven. I recently met them on YouTube saying that. Yeah, like growing up, and in the community, what I've always heard was people have a negative view of Black people, that we aren't God's chosen people, that we have a curse, that our dark skin is supposed to be something that haunts us everywhere we go. So, what are you guys' opinions on that one?
Lex, you go first on that, man.
Oh boy. I'm gonna be honest with you, Topaz. Growing up, I didn't hear too many people say that. I'm with you on that front. To be perfectly honest, I didn't run into too many people that did say that. I mean, my upbringing, like in my real origin of younger years, was just Church of God in Christ and Baptist Church, and then I knew a few Jehovah Witnesses and stuff. I didn't know too many Hebrew Israelites like that. When I get out of high school and I got more adventurous and started taking a lot of motorcycle adventures and stuff, I started running into more people like that. So but growing up, I didn't run into too many people that were saying those things. Go ahead, Topaz, you got it.
Oh, well, yeah, no, I've only met Hebrew Israelites since I've gotten an adult, and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
driving around and I see them. I hadn't seen them in childhood, but
me
growing up, I
neither.
was Baptist, and then I had family members that were Jehovah's Witness, but that was pretty
Right,
much. Oh, and I met friends at school that were Catholic, but that was pretty much the end of it. And
yeah,
I started meeting Jewish people when I got older. So,
okay,
and I noticed that everybody got their own rules for how to get there. But here's the
yeah,
thing, I just personally feel like no religion can tell the other religion whether or not they're going. That like that's within that group. They're gonna talk about it on their own within their people. Like I don't think that's our place in any of these religions. But I've heard other religions say that people who aren't their religion are not getting into heaven as well. So
True.
Mario, let me ask: have you heard people say this before? Because I hadn't heard it.
Well, it's funny because when you got into the topic and you said you didn't hear that until YouTube. Well, let me okay, this is a little joke. I'll say this. I didn't know I was in a gender war until I hopped on the internet.
Right.
I was talking to this girl, several few years ago. She sent me a message, a girl I met, I drive a UPS, and it's a girl I met on my route. And she hit me up and I called and I sent her a message back. I said, I don't know if I'm supposed to be talking to you right now. She was like, why is that? I said, apparently, we supposed to be in a gender war, so I can't like you right now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was trolling. I'm silly. But
yeah,
in regards to the question and the second topic, I had no idea about this until I got on the internet, and then the Hebrew Israelites sector, so to speak. I know they were real heavy in New York, and me being in
yeah,
Atlanta, they're down here heavy now. They were really heavy today in the West End areas, about 50 strong out there on the corner. And I can't remember verbatim, but I know there are some scriptures in the Bible that talks about you not chastising and now doing that in quote unquote, and I'm speaking in I'm paraphrasing, but it like harassing people with the word, because you look at Jesus' life, he didn't force the word on people.
Right.
no,
He
he
didn't
did,
force the
he did,
he didn't force the word. So you're in a direct opposition to him. You're in direct opposition to him on the corner with a microphone, chastising people. And then when somebody challenges you, you got the microphone, so you speak over him or her that's trying to tell you something. That a lot of times I've seen these people that are speaking to him know the word better than them. And they're trying to advise them like, brother, you shouldn't be out here on the corner doing this. But
yeah.
I want to speak on something. I like to go into the facts on it. I don't like to deal with conjecture and all that other stuff. Have any of you guys ever taken the DNA test before, like Ancestry.com or anything?
I haven't. I
I
feel
have,
like
Okay.
for what?
Yeah, exactly. Now, don't get me wrong. It's some benefits to it, because on the topic that we on right now, it's going to trace all of Black Americans to the slave coast, Ghana, Nigeria, Ivory Coast, the slave coast, right?
Right.
yeah,
Now, that doesn't mean that we come from there. There's something that I found about 15 years ago, which is something that's under the DNA root. It's called a haplose group. Have you all guys ever heard of that before?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, a haplose group mean that's your genetic origin. That means that's where you originated from. Your DNA just means, like, for instance, if you get a DNA test, it's going to show you percentages of places where your lineage passed through. But your haplose group, meaning this is who Topaz is. This is who Triple X is. It doesn't matter what your people intermingle with. Like Paul, he was a Benjamite, but he always knew that he was an Israelite at heart. That, you see what I mean? Not at heart, but
Right.
in blood. He knew he was an Israelite, but he was a Benjamite as well. He was mixed, so to speak, but he always knew about that by his blood, by his lineage, he was an Israelite. So this is nothing new. What I'm saying is, a lot of Black Americans that are here right now, just because we all, that old quote, just because we skin folk, we ain't kin folk, which is why, it never sat right with me when I was a kid, when they were saying that our brothers in Africa turned us over in the slave trade and gave us up. But I've been to Nigeria. I lived in Nigeria for about almost a year. I lived in Okinawa for about a year. It's a lot of places in the world I live. They know their history. They was like, man, we know we sold you. They gave us up because we weren't our people. They weren't that we weren't their people, even though we intermingle with them. So when you take a DNA test, that's why it's going to show you may have 15, 20% Nigeria, 15, 20% Ghanaian, 15, 20% Ivorian coastal. If you go in the biblical reference, we were chased, our people, or not our people, or I would say the people, the tribe of Judah, so to speak, or Israel, was chased out of Jerusalem in 70 AD by the Romans. Where did we flee to? We fled into Africa. Why? Because we can blend in. But we're down there with people, the other 11 tribes of Israel, which is most of them are in Africa. We're down there intermingling with those people. Now, when the Edomites, whatever you want to call them, you know that word is running good with Hebrew Israelites. When we got down there with them, they come down there searching for people to take up. Well, who better to give up than these people? They're not our people anyway. But
I think no. Go ahead, finish.
No, go ahead. You good?
Oh, okay. No, I was saying that's interesting what you breaking down. I think it's a lot of truth in that. I guess my only concern would be, if all that is in fact, how it played out to a T, at some point it was still mixing within that intermingling.
And that's what I'm saying. I agree with you, which is why I said when you take which is why I said when you take a DNA test, that's going to explain why you have a percentage of each of those nations, because we were intermingling with those groups. But this is why I also said, if you study the haplos group. Now, I'm on a live stream. I'm pretty sure you probably got a widow or a troll recording it. I'm glad, because I always tell people, go look up anything I say. I'm telling you the truth. The next man might be lying. So verify everything. No. But what I'm saying, not YouTube, but I'm saying it's always a weirdo on the internet, babe. That's why I always make sure I'm coming direct and straight with straight facts and not my own opinion on how I feel about stuff, because I care about those that want to be saved and want to live right. What I'm saying is, if you look up the haplos group, the genetic marker, and I spoke to science. Remember, I'm here in Atlanta where we got the CDC. I know some of the top heads over there at the CDC. That's another reason that's keeping me from, side note, it's keeping me from staying abstinent, because you ain't got to live in Atlanta. But if you know about Atlanta, that's another reason why I stay abstinent. I don't want no parts of that shit. That's another reason.
Okay.
Yes, sir. That's another reason, bro. But
the land of temptation.
There you go. It's all kind of weirdos down here, man. But if you look at the haplos group, that genetic marker within itself can prove which of us in that are Black Americans are African and which of us are Hebrews. And don't quote me on this, but because I'm forgetting right now, but I think the African haplos group is E as in echo, E1B1B. And I think anybody that's a quote Jewish Black person is an E1B1A. I'm going to say it again. If you look it up and take a DNA test, don't look at what percentage of what nation you come from. Look at the haplos group. Genetic Africans, I think, are E1B1B, and I think genetic Hebrews are E1B1A. So all us Black people that are here in America aren't Hebrews. Some of us are still from the other 11 tribes, but they aren't from the tribe of Judah, and that's the tribe in the Bible that's the only one in the scripture that said that's scattered among the four corners of the earth. They don't know who they are, and that's who the Lord is coming back for, to make those. I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to get your stream shut down, because them people be watching. But let's just say the people with all the money.
Yeah, the small hat.
Yeah, that's the people with all the money. They own all the DNA centers now, even the African ancestry. Trust me, I know it. You ain't gonna find it, but your boy do his due diligence. He know they running that shit now. So I still advise people to take a DNA test, because it's gonna give you some basic information to prove what I'm saying. So there's nothing wrong with taking the DNA test. But those people that got all the money are doing everything they can to basically, they know they are not the people. But one thing I would give those Hebrews on the corner talking all the stuff that they talk credit for, they go in on the people with all the money. And one thing, they do. You know that. They know that. Now, you guys are familiar with Neely Fuller, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay, Neely Fuller always said this. Y'all know Neely Fuller don't do nothing but spit facts. He just basic logic, question and answers. Neely Fuller once said on his podcast, and I still listen to him to this day, he said that when they can't trick you, he said they're gonna try to confuse you. He's talking about WS, if you know what that means. He said if they can't trick you, they're gonna try to confuse you. If they can't confuse you, they're gonna try to stifle you. And he said when none of that, all the other tactics don't work, they'll use wholesale violence on you. And he said the only reason why they haven't used wholesale violence on somebody like him, because he said he don't have a lot of people ear. But he said that doesn't mean that they aren't listening. And this is why I like your channel, for the record podcast. Don't think that you got bigger content creators not listening to you. The second you become a threat, you're gonna get a lot of trolls. You're gonna get a lot of trolls, and you're gonna get a lot of trolls. You're gonna get a lot of people trying to circumvent the argument, change, misdirect, mess with you, push you out of the way because you're messing with their money. And the reason why the WS and the big boys with all the money don't pay attention to don't mess with people like your channel and a lot of other people's channel, because they know you don't have a lot of ears. But if you keep pumping the message you pumping, telling the truth, and you start catching a lot of ears, that's when all the bullshit is going to start coming your way. Because now you got a lot of people paying attention to you. And I'm going to finish by saying this. Because if you start asking, well, if you aren't the people that the Bible speaks of, then who is?
Right. And
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, if you start asking the question with them Hebrew Israelites always go in on them on saying they are not the people, and they're not. If you ask them, well, if you're not the people, then who is? They're not worried about you not finding out they aren't the people. They're worried about people finding out once you figure out that they are not the people that the Bible speaks of. Everybody's going to say, well, who are the people? And it's evident at that point, it only points to one people group on this planet.
Yeah. Well, both cultures have been scattered, but only one has received their jewels and their reward and their comfort here. The other one, right. It would stand to reason that is the culture that's going to get the last laugh.
Right.
Yeah.
Lex, you had anything you wanted to add? Because I mean, even now, I stopped one day to listen to Hebrew Israelites, like maybe about 10 years ago when I first saw one, out there with the loud megaphone and everything. But I stopped to listen because I was already walking past the park. We got this big, huge park in Houston downtown, and so they were out there on the corner of that. So I was already walking in the park. So I was like, okay, what are they talking about? And that's when I finally figured out, oh, this is a whole religion. It's more people. It ain't just this group of people, So that's my first encounter with them. So I didn't even know that that this was a thing until I got on YouTube.
Yeah, have you guys ever watched Pastor Dow?
No.
I do respect him. Now, I do respect him because you know why I respect him, Lex? Because he's doing something different than what these other brothers that got these different Hebrew Israelite sects are doing.
Right.
He put his money where his mouth is. He put his love, just an action and not just talk, where his mouth is. He went and built his own community. He took all the men and the women and all his people and started his own community. That's what I respect. It's action. Actions speak louder than words. But you sitting on the corner talking shit to other people that look like you, I don't respect that, because I'm gonna ask you immediately. I know a fruit by its tree. Again, we stand on the word. I'm a fallible human being. I'm going to the word, something that's gonna help me live my life better. Show me something that will make me believe that you are what you say you are. I see Pastor Dow. He got his own community. What do you have? That's how you end the conversation with them. You don't have to debate with them. You don't have to talk with them. If they can't show you nothing and they start talking about the word, that's a dishonest person, because I'm a man just like you are, Lex. I'm an adult just like you are, Topaz.
Yep.
Why do I have to hide and put God on everything that I say? If I'm a man, my name, that's my name on the screen, Mario Liddell Addison. I stand by my word. Everybody knows me. If I say it, my word is true. You guys don't know that, but if I got people that vouch for me. So, but if I put God on it, I'm giving you no way out. I'm trying to manipulate you by putting God on it. So that's why I trust Pastor Dow. I don't even know the man, but I trust his word because I see the fruit.
Yeah.
I see the fruit.
Yeah. That's true. And how about God would never tell me to listen to somebody that can't provide for me? You know, he would never send me somebody broke that's just going to be a hindrance.
Well, Topaz, I'll provide for you. I ain't got no problem just talking bullshit. I'm trolling.
No, but I get what you see the difference though. Like he would never, if the person is not, like, I've gotten questions about how do you know whether or not you know, the person that you're talking to was sent by God. Like, they may be quoting scripture, but how do you know if they're the devil that just knows the book, right? And so I was always told that if they saying something and it don't line up, like they're not living the same life, then yeah, that's probably a person coming to manipulate you with it.
You know what, Topaz? When I meet the women, I had to just cut off a girl that I met on my route, same age as me, but she 37 years old playing games. It's like it's ridiculous. And the thing is, genetics.
Wait a minute. Hold on, Mario. Let me jump in. Wait right there. Wait right there.
Yes, sir.
Wait. Let me just say this, and I'm gonna let you get back to that. That just goes along with what I just said, Mario.
Yep.
Yeah, 37, man.
Yeah.
And still playing games, man. Go ahead.
Do you really want the details of this, man?
I mean, you said enough, honestly. You can go ahead and keep
okay, because it get worse. It get worse, man, because genetics has done her great. She 37,
right? Still
look good.
Yeah.
But in a man's mind, just as you and me, just Topaz, follow us for a minute.
Okay. Yeah.
You see a woman that's a little older and she looks that good, no kids.
Right.
In the back of your mind, are you gonna be thinking to yourself, what's wrong with her?
Oh, I already know something's wrong with her.
Exactly. Now, look, man, I'm 5'10", I'm 210 pounds, man. You know, I'm in great shape. You said, I mean, that's all I do. I work out twice a day. You know, morning. My job is active. I'm in great shape, man. So I keep myself young, looking good, keeping my physique tight. She's 37. She was telling me about the previous dudes that she was on this is the first time we went out, right? And of course, you know, I fit the bill. You know, basically I was telling her, it really wasn't a date. I gave her my number when I met her on my deliveries. And she sent me a message like, I'm just not really looking for anything right now. I said, look, love, I just thought you was attractive. I said, I'm going to my favorite eating spot. You more than welcome to tag along. I just like to enjoy the company of a gorgeous woman. She accepted and she came out. We had fun. Now, let me tell you what I did. Topaz, feel free to intervene if you want to. But again, this is me because this is how my personality will flow. So a waitress comes up. Waitress pretty cute. Now, I started flirting with her. Hey, how you doing? You look real nice. Like, you got a boyfriend? No. So I was like, you want one? I'm just trolling. I'm just talking shit, talking my hot shit. And she's kind of looking at the table. She's looking at the table, looking at me, looking at the girl in front of me. Like, damn, why is this nigga talking to me like that? And he got a girl over here. I said, oh, no. That's not my girlfriend. This is a girl that I met on my route. I just invited her out. She's a potential friend. You know, the girl at the table that I was with, that I invited out with me, she got mad. Why do you get mad? You said we weren't going on a date.
Right.
You said we were going on a date, but I did that on purpose. I was just trying to test her. So she was sexually attracted to me, but she playing all these damn games at the table. You said, I mean, so when we got that out of the way, she started telling me about the last guys that she was in a relationship with. Now, Y'all gonna beat me over the head over this. I think Topaz, you gonna beat me over the head with this too. I'm gonna be honest. She said the first guy she was telling me about had a BMW, high-end BMW, right? But she didn't know the nigga. She didn't know the nigga lived at home with his mom.
Uh,
No, it gets worse. It gets worse. She did not know. This girl graduated from Alabama. We ain't gonna talk about the college debt, but that's another story. But she told me that she was out on a date with this nigga. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, he done probably already got some.
Oh,
She
yeah.
said when the bill came, the girl came back and told the nigga his credit card got declined.
Damn. Wow.
Guess what this nigga did at the table? This nigga asked her if she wouldn't mind paying for the bill, and she did. I said, "Oh Lord, have mercy."
Oh my goodness.
It get worse. It get worse. I've never had an issue with height or anything dealing with women in my life, and it didn't bother me. This girl is 5'7", I'm 5'10". She's a little shorter than me. She starts talking crazy, talking about I've always dated guys over 6, this, that.
Oh,
I'm
that's
very.
what
It doesn't bother. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me
Right. But
because my say that again.
Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me because get the hypocrisy of it. The next dude she told me she dated before me, she's 5'7". This nigga was 5'5". Make that make sense. She was doing that to try to fuck with me to see how I was gonna respond. It didn't hurt me one bit. I didn't bat an eye. I said, baby, you like what you like. It's all good. So when I asked her, basically what I'm trying to get at is that she has poor dating choices. And now all of a sudden she's standing in front of me, a man that took care of himself, made the right decisions, and telling me she's on a celibacy thing for the past 2 years. But she slipped. Look, it get worse. It get worse. She slipped with a coworker last year.
Well,
she slipped with a coworker, a random coworker.
Hey,
I started.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I started to ask her, I want to see what these niggas look like. The reason why I didn't ask, because if I see them, I would have blocked her ass. I already know without even seeing. Yeah, you laughing because you know what's up, Topaz. It's too much bullshit.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Too much bullshit.
Let me get this, man. Topaz, get this. Mario, brother. Look, this goes. See, man, and you say she's attractive, but look, see, that's what I'm. This is why look, and I don't agree with everything that's going on in the manosphere. You made great points about the manosphere earlier, Mario. But this is precisely why it's so many brothers complaining in the first place about the manosphere, is because it's too many women out there like that, man. You know? It's just too many women out there like that. And then here's the thing. When you look at the other cultures and races, it's not women like that out there. You know what I'm saying? If an attractive woman is out there like that age, she's trying to get a dude. She definitely trying to get a dude. A good solid guy like you come around, she like, what's up? You know?
Right.
Yeah. Because, hey, my manager is about 40. And he's an in-shape guy, tall. We both tall. I'm 6'4". He's like probably 6'1". And and like every time he meet a chick, he's white. Every time he meet a chick, they like, what's up? They ready to what's up with a relationship? Like, what's up with this? You know what I'm saying? And like, so, yeah, but sisters, man, like you say, they still be fine. And they go ahead, man.
Yeah. Now I was gonna say, check this out though. In my 37 years, that's the first time that's ever happened to me. But my rapport with women has been on point so far. See, I don't have anything in common with any of these guys in this red pill space. Black women has always been favorable with me. Like I would tell most of them dudes in that space, and they think this is a bragging point. Most brothers think this is a bragging point about getting all the pussy out here. Okay, let's say, for instance, you probably have more pussy than me. I'm willing to bet that you have. I guarantee you, you ain't had a woman to cook for you, clean for you, wash your clothes, wash your car in front of the homies. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying that to brag like I got this, you know, like a nigga take that shit and just take it to another level by disparaging the woman. I'm saying the woman thought that much of me and my character that she doing that for me.
Yeah.
Because of how I treated her. And most of my relationships ended based off the fact that I was dealing with high quality women. When I was dating a woman while I was living in Japan, when I got out of the Marine Corps,
yeah,
it was only because her career took her one way, I went another. I've been dealing with women like that these women making damn near 6 figures and over 6 figures. I've been dealing with quality chicks and you know, and I was dating a Japanese and a black girl while I was living in Japan. That's how I learned to speak Japanese while I was over there. I wasn't ready to live in Japan, and it's kind of ironic because I lived in Japan for 2 years, but I wasn't willing to stay in Japan. And I was ready to come back. She wasn't ready to come back to Japan with me. So my relationships have been pretty good, but I've had quality women. So when I broke up with them and we had a mutual partner, I left them better than what they were before I met them. Most of these dudes talk about pumping and dumping and all this. All you doing is just putting your life force in that woman. And then a dude like you and me, if we single, we meet this woman, she gorgeous, we trying to get to know her. She got this dude life force in her. Not to mention whatever. You see what I mean?
So I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. Like, it's a round robin. It's a round robin.
Exactly. And I've been very conscientious of that, man. Like, you know, like I've been very conscientious of that since I was young. And it's so funny because a lot of dudes, when I was in the Marine Corps, they would see a lot of women just migrating toward me. And most of the dudes that were coming to me saying, how you getting all these women? I was not sleeping with all of them. Remember, I told you, I prefer quality over quantity. So these dudes are asking me, guess how tall they were?
Yeah, over 6.
Yeah, you over 6 foot. Every last one of them. They were over 6 foot.
Right.
Over 6 foot every last time. Every last time. I'm talking about Japanese, Korean, white, black, Hispanic, all of them. And I made a lot of enemies with a lot of dudes simply because they thought I was fucking the girl that they liked.
Oh, yeah.
And I was never doing it because that's one thing. I've done a lot of bad shit in my life, but mistreating a female, I ain't done that shit. I don't get off on that. If she's a weaker vessel, why am I going to fucking shit on her?
Well, and that all. Oh, go ahead, Lex, because you hadn't got a chance to come in, and I'm gonna come in after you.
Oh yeah, no, hey, Mario. You know, man, the thing is, like, it's definitely a round robin. I'm not, like, when I say those things, I'm not saying, like, a lot of men don't have a hand in it, you know, because it is a subset of this race that are participating in that. Like I've been vocal before on other platforms. I don't believe in pump and dump. You know, I feel a brother is 100% honest with his game when it comes to women. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's, you know, all that lying to get something and sell a chick a dream. Like, I'm not selling nothing, you know? Like, it is what it is here, baby. You know, it is what it is. Like, the thing is, I speak to him with regular common sense, man. You know, I don't have to do all that extra shit, man. You know, I just straight up talk with him and tell him what it is, man, and the potential opportunity. Go, hey, you know, wise up. You know, that's how I hit them. And the thing is like, you know, the ultimate problem is that, like, a lot of those women get mistreated, like that woman you was describing, at probably a younger age, maybe in her younger 20s, and this happened 2 or 3 times, and now she's been in player spin mode the last 10 years of her life. You know? Yeah. And like I met a woman who's in her 50s, and she's an attractive woman. She's a very attractive woman. She and she, we just chopping up game, and she told me she was with somebody and for 10 years, and they was having a back and forth, and she was just outlining all the stuff she had went through in her life, and I'm like, she on the same trajectory as that girl you was talking about. She just 10, 20 years ahead of her, you know? So, yeah, man, you know, hey, unfortunately, man, a lot of women get caught up in that, and because of past shit with dudes, and they can't get out of it, man.
Hey,
And
Lex,
I
let me
feel
add on to that. This is a conversation I had with this chick about 2 days ago.
yeah,
3 days ago, actually. She was telling me that she knew her father growing up. Now, she had the actual inverse of what is the quote unquote normal based off what most people say that goes on in the black community, where the father just dips and he's a deadbeat, all that. And most of the cases, not really the case, but in some instances it is true. I'm gonna be honest. She said her mother left her dad and just wanted to go do her thing. I was like, damn, your mom wanted to go get it, go and get it in. But she said that to me.
happens. There
Yeah,
are those stories. We can't leave it out.
but she said her mom wanted to go get it in. She said her mom's still getting it in, right? But I want to see a picture of her mom's. Never mind. I shouldn't have said. Yeah, yeah. But anyway, I can't believe I just said that shit. I ain't got no filter. But
she probably got a fine mama, man.
exactly, because
Yup.
she's still fine. She's still fine heading into her 40s. So anyway, she said she knew her dad. I'm still on the last point you made, Lex. She said she knew her dad and she had 3 brothers, which tells me you were raised by them from her own mouth. This is what she told me. And I said, based off you being raised by your dad and your brothers, these are the dating choices that you made. A nigga who credit card got declined when it came to payment for a meal, and a nigga living in your apartment that you were paying for, and he was cheating on you with other raggedy hoes. And you standing in front of the table with me right now talking about abstinence, you trying to abstain from sex. And I'm not really ashamed of that, because I was really known as a younger guy. Women used to look at me and say, I would never be in a long-term relationship with you. Now, Lex, you can understand this. When we young, we think that's cool. Oh, I'm the side guy. She want me for the pipe and all that. But when you get older, man, and you really get wise and you really got a real good virtuous value system, you say to yourself, like, that's some savage shit. All this woman looks at me for is what's between my legs. Like, you get what I'm saying? It's like I'm nothing more to her than that. I'm not a provider. She ain't gonna love me. She ain't gonna respect me or nothing like that. I'm just sex to her.
Yeah,
and that bothered me, man. So when I made a change, and I know I made a change because I was talking to a young girl when I first came home from the Marine Corps around 2014. Macking to her at UPS, I just came back. I saw her. I was talking to her. It was a girl I knew before I went to the Marine Corps. And she was like, Mark, this is what this girl said to me. Let this sink in before you respond to it. This girl said, Mario, I really would like to talk to you. I can see myself having kids with you, being a good woman to you. But if I get with you, it's going to be long term, and I can't do that.
Yeah.
That's what she said to me.
No, I believe that, Mario. But see, here's the thing. I respect her because she's being honest. What a lot of women will do out here, man, is they will portray the role that they're actually looking for something serious of that ilk, but in reality, they don't want it. You know what I'm saying? That's why they'll throw the monkey wrench in the situation, or they will act a certain way so they make sure that it don't happen. I respect that girl's honesty.
Yeah, and you know what, Lex? I respected her honesty. We still cool today. She actually ended up having a kid by a dude who I was training for free or whatever. He's a homie of mine. She got a kid by him. She got 3 kids, 2 by another dude who's still in jail, and 1 by my homeboy. And I actually delivered to them and they got an apartment together, and I actually delivered to them on my route. I'm cool. I'm cool. It doesn't bother me because I'm not a weirdo. Like, a lot of these dudes that be in this space, man, these dudes hide behind avatars. I don't care. I end up building the dude up, getting his physique on point. He got confidence. He ain't running around mean mugging niggas because his big booty girl, he got pregnant and all this stuff. He confident. Yeah. He got other girls looking at him, and he he actually he appreciated what I did for him. So he shot me a cash app a few years ago. He sent me some money just because I did it on the house. Just me and him were cool. You know what I mean? But he sent that to me just like, man, I appreciate what you did, man. All these girls liking the physique, this, that, and the third. But I wasn't mad at her for telling me that. I appreciated the honesty. And that's what I'm trying to tell these other dudes that are in this space that I'm trying to pull away from a lot of these guys. Like, don't wave the flag or the banner of another man's war if it's not yours. And that's what I see what's going on in this space a lot. They listening to a lot of content creators who are bitter, broken by the weaker vessel. So as they say, but they selling this stuff to young guys, telling them, don't go down this road, don't do this, don't do that. But you're telling them this and you're bitter. These guys haven't experienced what you did. The only experience they got with women is that they first girl broke their heart because that girl did not want to go to the prom with them. That girl did not want to go on a date with them or didn't see them.
The girl that didn't want to go to the prom.
Yeah. Oh, what's that?
You knocked it out of the park right there. You don't even know you did.
Oh, y'all. Really?
Oh, what happened? What happened? What did I say?
No, there's a talk of people. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Tell me in the back chat. Tell me in the back chat. But yeah. Who the fuck? Never mind. Who the fuck is that?
Oh, you don't know him? Oh, okay, yeah.
I told you, I'm really new to this. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, he's a big guy in the space. I'll say that. I don't want to give away too much, but that's kind of his story that kind of kicked him off, and he's open about it. So, but I'm going to.
We've been hearing about it for 3 years.
What you say?
Let me ask you a question. How old is this nigga? How old is this nigga?
I say he said that story. People got a hold of it, and we've been hearing about it for 3 years.
Oh,
How old is he?
I'm gonna put his age. Hold on, wait. I'm gonna put it.
Bruh.
Yeah. That.
Over 40 years, and you still tripping off of some females that didn't want to go to the prom with you?
Now, here's the thing. I'm going to say this, right? Maybe because I'm a woman and I'm understanding. I get that can leave a scar, right? I get it. But the thing is that more stands out to me is that so you've come across nobody that made up for that in this time? Nobody has been worth it? Like you haven't met that one person when you say, okay, maybe God was telling them women to say no so I could be available for this one. Throughout all these decades, that never happened?
Topaz, you said a jewel right there, because we are talking about religious topics, right?
Right.
So let's go back to the Bible. Let's relate what you guys just told me in the back chat about this individual to the Bible. Let's start in Genesis. With Cain and Abel. Cain just gave a bad offering, but he decided in his heart that he's going to be a hater, and the Lord spoke with him, remember, and said, this is you and your own doing. Just do better. That's all he was saying. But he decided to hate on his brother. What I'm saying is, take God and all of that out and put a woman in place. The girl said no, but you internalize that. Back to your point, Topaz, you said from that time until now, you haven't met one female because it doesn't matter. The person never got over it. So they walk around with a mark on them their whole life, hating all females that they come across. So the reason, let me tell you the bottom line of the fact why I would never really care about this whole red pill space that my little bro homies introduced me to. I keep saying homies from LA or whatever, but that's just a word we use out there. Y'all know that from the movies and all that bullshit. But the reason why I really won't rock with it like that, and Lex can shoot me something in the back chat or in the email that we in, and I'll listen to some of these guys if he suggests it, because I like the way the brothers get down, his talking points and all that. But the reason why I can't rock with a lot of these things in these spaces is because these dudes would not be honest and say to themselves that I'm hurt. I know that's a big thing with a lot of these guys, and they say, well, they say the women will say, "Who hurt you?"
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about that, because the women that are saying that are hiding behind avatars too.
And also pain, because otherwise, like the normal reaction, the humanistic response, if we figure out somebody's hurt, is to go over and try to comfort them, right?
Right.
Because when we're babies, somebody comforts us, and we learn that that's what you do when somebody's crying. It has to have been a damage for somebody to be like, "Oh, who hurt you?" Like, for you to say it like that with no intention of comforting the person. Who
Right.
asks a person to talk about their problems if they're not going to try to at least be a positive listening ear?
Right. But what it seems with a lot of these guys in this space is they aren't really looking for solutions. They're just here to get $1.
Mm-hmm.
And they're gonna use all the young men that are coming into this space with talking points. See, here's the irony in it. I'm not discrediting their talking points, even though I have never experienced them in my life. Black women have always showed me favor. You would never get me on the podcast, on a thread, or anywhere in the open. That's my name on the screen, talking bad about my own people. If I got an issue with my own people, I wouldn't even say it on this panel. I would do it in the back chat or email. I'm not giving nobody no ammunition that don't look like me. That's not my race to talk crazy about my people in public. I would never do that. Or big up a white woman, or go to Brazil, or go to wherever you want to go, or all the. I've been to these places. I've seen brothers down there, and they be tricking off on hoes. I'm just telling you what I know. I've seen it firsthand. And so funny that they're going to these places, and the girls they tricking off on aren't like the girls that you see in these videos that are dimes. They average ass looking prostitutes you see here in America on the corner in your neighborhood. I promise you that. They ain't getting the top quality girls down there when they go to Brazil. They just talking. Like again, you talking about men that are hiding behind a fucking avatar. And Lex, I don't know about you, and I feel the same way. I feel this way. But what I will say, Topaz saw me or whatever. I would show my face. That's my face on the screen, even though it got a mask on. I'm not respecting anybody hiding behind the fucking avatar. How are you talking all this shit about women, and judging them when we can't see and judge you?
Yeah, because that might be part of the answer about why you getting what you getting.
That's it. But the misnomer I found out real quick when these guys say this shit is that they take the topic and they turn into "you must be gay because you want to see what I look like." No, I'm a Marine. That's my picture up there. You see, that's what it said on in my face. I want to see the man that I'm looking at that I may have to. I want to see the man that I have to look eye to eye that I may have to kill. That's a warrior spirit. I can't kill an avatar.
No, Mario, I hear you. A lot of people like to use excuses for work or whatever. But I'm like, look, if someone wants to find you, they'll find you. Like, if somebody hears me talking from my job up here, even if it ain't no picture, they'll know it's me.
Right.
Like, why would that person be in this space anyway? You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not using, like, look, if somebody wants to find you or out you, you'll be outed. Like, it ain't nothing. What's funny, Mario, is a lot of these people that are behind so-called avatars, they've been outed anyway.
But you know what?
Knows. Yeah.
You know what doesn't matter though, is the fact that these men that are following them are so obsessed with women that they can be outed. Do you think they lost followers?
No. And here's the thing.
Nope.
How about not say stuff on here that you would be ashamed to say in real life? Like anything, my coworkers can find this space if they want to, but then they on their own. I'm not going to be like defending you against the people here. So my thing is, everything that I say on here, I've said in real life to groups of people. Like nobody will be shocked. They be like, "Oh yeah, that sounds about right."
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Hey Topaz, I wanted to ask you, what was the next topic point?
The next one.
I didn't want to Mario. I just didn't want to go too down this lane too heavy. I'm sure she has some more topic points.
I'm the same way, bro.
Okay. Yeah, I was talking to y'all about doing a part 2 because I don't want to have these streams too long because I like for people to be able to listen through the whole conversation. And like so far in the analytics, people don't listen longer than like an hour and a half or so. So I wanted to break this one up into the next time that we come on, we will be talking about marriage, we will be talking about sex, fornication, temptation, stuff like that, as well as where y'all think we are in Revelations.
Okay.
Because I want people to hear the whole entire stream. I don't want them to come in and hear half of it and then never get the other end.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you got productive people in their lives following your channel, so they ain't got time to listen to 8 and 9 hour live.
Yeah, I will say I don't have a whole lot of people in the live streams, but I like doing the live streams because then at least we can talk back and forth with one another instead of me doing an upload of me talking and everybody in the comments, you know?
Nah, Topaz, you got enough people. You know, it ain't for everybody. It's like we speaking in parables. You speaking in parables. You know, just like Jesus did.
I've been told that before.
Just like Jesus did. It's not for everybody. So,
and you know what? And I don't want a huge channel if I'm gonna be talking about this kind of stuff. I would rather have a smaller channel with people who actually want to participate in the discussion rather than a huge channel with thousands of people. Because if you do that, like the only way you're gonna get all of that is if it's entertaining. And I want to talk about some real stuff from time to time.
Entertainment. I 1000% agree with that, man. You know, I had fun. You know, I can't wait for the next show. Like I say, I love For the Record broadcast, and you know, I want to give a shout out to Love Wisdom because that's how I found this channel, your channel, Third World Colombian, and the other guys. Yeah, she's very amazing. You know what I mean? Hopefully I can get on a panel with her one day and chop it up. You know, I was telling you that in the back chat about that, but I can't wait forward to the next stream. You know, Triple X. You know, it was nice hollering at you, chopping up game with you on the panel, man. Like it's it really invigorates my spirit to talk to a thorough woman and a man, not a male, because I get down a lot of times in my life because I'm surrounded by a lot of bullshit and a lot of bullshit males and a lot of dudes that like to act like women in the way they, you know, act and talk about you and try to set you up and do mischievous shit. And it just feels good to be in the same space with another goddamn man, M-A-N, not a male. And me being in Atlanta, there are not a lot of these guys around. They get offended by manhood. They really do.
Well, here's the problem, Mario. Hey, Mario, here's the problem. A lot of them too busy putting on leotards and thongs and oiling their behind up down there, man.
Yeah, manhood is offensive. Like I say, I really appreciate Topaz letting me on her channel. You know what I mean? Because, you know, I came in casually and trolling, you know, like low-key trolling, you know, messing with her in the chat and all that stuff, you know, flirting, all that.
Just, you know,
I ain't gonna say trolling, but I'll say flirting. I'll use a word like flirting. You did, but messing with her in the chat, you know, sending a couple cash out to Colombian and herself. But I just like the content, and I don't contribute anything unless I believe in the content. So, you know, I'll leave with that.
Right. Well, and I try to bring content that I feel like has a purpose. You know, I don't want to do a whole lot of fluff. You know, I can do a little fluff, you know, to keep the mood light, but I feel like why talk if you don't have nothing actual to say? You just listening to your voice, and that annoys me. So why would I do it? Like we mentioned earlier, if I check myself with that ruler, then I can check everybody else.
Oh yeah, facts. And I guess I would add, this is a fantastic stream as always. You know, top quality conversation. You know, I enjoyed the conversation, chopping it up, meeting you, Mario. You seem like a solid brother, man, from what I'm hearing. And you know, I like that. Topaz, as always, this is a fantastic platform to have real intellectual conversations, you know, and everything. So, you know, I like that. That's always a good thing. And
Well,
oh
thank
yeah,
y'all. I
oh
appreciate
yeah,
y'all coming up and actually being interested in having this discussion because this is the one topic I don't get a whole lot of people who want to talk about.
yeah. Oh yeah, I like talking about stuff that's controversial and stuff that people don't want to talk about. Like this is the 800-pound elephant in the room for the black community.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we talked about on the last stream, we invested billions of dollars since the 80s in this thing, you know, and it's been very little actual tangibles. And we got certain people living like they top athletes and entertainers and stuff, you know, and it's being ran as a business, you know, and it's
Mm-hmm.
profit. So it's deep. It's deep. It's deep. Oh yeah, one day too, I would like to. This ain't not the stream, but on just a freestyle stream. I'd like to hear your opinions on that Love Dorsey chick, Topaz. I'm sure you got some
Oh no,
opinions.
I like her, and I actually, when I used to be on Facebook a lot more before I came to YouTube, I was actually following her and being her chats and live streams and
Oh, okay.
whatnot. That I wasn't doing no content; I was just strictly in the audience. But I've listened to a lot of her topics. I believe that she is telling the truth, and I like the fact that she has the attitude that will squelch a whole lot of weak ass pushback because that way they can get out the way, and somebody that got a real question can come in if they need that. You know, I feel like she'll be able to spread the message because, you know, women are listening and the
Yeah.
men are enjoying it. And she's telling the truth.
Oh
Basically,
yeah.
treat men like human beings. Don't be surprised when you get the dumb stuff that you get if you was playing games, you know. So yeah, she's telling them what it is.
Oh, okay. 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 Yeah, she seemed like the real deal from what I could see. A lot of logic there coming from her. I'm like, wow.
And she's been on it for years. Like she didn't just start this year. You know, she's
Oh, okay.
been talking
She's
about
been at
this.
that? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I ain't
Like
know that.
at least 7 years, and then she was doing it before I found her. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's been about 10.
And you
Oh,
say
yeah.
her name. You say her name is Love Dorsey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I put it in the side chat. Yeah. Was she rapping back then too?
You know what? I ain't never see her do that. I just only saw her have the conversations like she'll be driving and she'll have a short upload, and she has this thing where she was tapping the screen like making it seem like she was hitting you on your forehead to get you to pay attention. Like I thought that was hilarious because I do feel that way. I feel like wake up when I'm talking to people sometimes.
Yo, yeah. Hey, Lex, how old did you tell me you were, homie?
I'm 39.
Okay, we all around the same age, man. Okay, yeah. Because with this younger generation, man, you know, they need dudes like you and me, man, to just kind of steer them in the right direction. Look, man, I you know, the way my mindset is, and a lot of these niggas are representing what esoteric knowledge is. You know, black pill knowledge ain't really that bad. They talk about the incel, but there's a other side to that. You know, and that's where the Marine comes in with me, right? In the Marine with me, I see it for what it is, but I'm going to recreate the world that's around me and around the world around me in my basically the black pill philosophy, so to speak, is the positive side of it is recreating the world around you in your image or in a positive image. And that's why I pulled these dudes away, because my spirit, I know for a fact, is a good spirit. And when the dudes that I pulled away from this red pill ideology, I'm telling them, number one, if you're going to live life and win in life, you got to love yourself first. Okay. You have to love yourself first. You have to love yourself first before anything. If you are putting anything before yourself, you are in a direct opposition of nature. Self-preservation is the first law of nature. Yeah. And every young dude that I've talked to keep putting a female on a pedestal. And the females that they show me that they're trying to talk to all got this hood rat image about them. All this is in the red pill space is that they want to have the right to first refusal. They are mad because the dude that I used to be are the dudes that's getting the come up and getting the rights to first refusal to pussy in this community. All they want is a beautiful woman. They want to have the right to fuck the beautiful woman first and then discard the girl. And they think just having an education, knowing a few literature, knowing book knowledge and all that shit will turn a woman on and make a woman like a Topaz, a gorgeous chick like Topaz, run to
Oh,
him.
thanks.
That doesn't work, bro. It doesn't work. I don't care how you feel about it. I used to be him. I used to be that dude. And that's what I keep trying to tell these dudes, man. Work on yourself first. You will never win in life unless you work on yourself first.
Exactly. And you should want to do that anyway.
Yeah,
How you
regardless of
gonna
a
know what
woman.
type of woman to pick if you don't know who you are? And that's why I'm doing a stream Tuesday on what do certain personality traits that y'all meet in women, what does that actually mean? What should you think about this and what should you do?
Oh, I can't wait on that. Yeah.
Well, and I'm gonna do one for the men too. Like, when you meet a man like this, what does that mean? What should you do when you see this type of personality trait? And I feel like at least this way, if they ever cross this channel, they can't say they didn't know. Because I feel like everybody always say, well, I didn't know. How was I supposed to know? Technically, our parents were supposed to tell us, but if they didn't, okay, cool. But now you know, so what are you going to do next? What are you going to do different?
Right. Hey, Lex, let me ask you a question, man. Have you ever met a woman that was just enamored or overpowered by your presence or just the way you carry yourself?
Yeah,
Okay.
I have, yeah.
Okay, good. That tell me everything. Look, I've been talking to y'all, but both of you on this panel, and I've been reading you along the way. I feel very confident about both of you guys. It's the same way like the people are listening to me right now. I read people very well. I feel like I'm in the right place. I know I'm in the right place. So the reason, the fact that you answered that question the way that you did, I can't wait on the next live stream because I'm gonna go in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go in on your perception of what you felt these women were looking at with you because I want to know based off the way you just answered that question if you end up having a relationship with those women or not. Don't answer that now. I'm gonna keep that question. I'm gonna bookmark it. I want to know if you had a relationship with those women. That I want to know if you had a relationship with those women you just said or not. That's gonna tell me everything we need to know about the women that were looking at you and saw what they saw in you and said they didn't want nothing to do with it. They chose to fuck with you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely, man. We'll bookmark it because I see Topaz and put up their final thoughts with a lot of
Yeah, because in that way, next time we start and that question is closer to the front, then more people get to hear what you mean by that. Because I got a feeling it's going to be useful and helpful.
Oh yeah. Okay, for sure. All right, then.
Well, we'll start with Chaos since he just got up here, and then we'll go to Chaos, Lex, and then Mario, and then I'll go last.
I don't know what any final thoughts. I came up here. I don't know what's going on, to be honest with you. So I can't speak on much things right now. Sorry.
Well, we were just talking about religion. Is it a good thing? Should the Black community embrace it? Will it help us do better? So, how do you feel about that?
It's not what the Black man wants to embrace. It's what they're doing now with religion. What has religion has suited the Black man, Black woman for the last couple hundred years? Nothing. This white man's religion will kill you, destroy you by any means necessary. Hell,
well,
we might even go as
do
far
you
as
feel like that's partially because of what we've been doing with religion?
Listen, I don't know what Black people take on religion today, but I'm guaranteeing right now, once they unify religion, it's going to be nothing or any of our concern moving forward. Because all we have is three religions: Christianity, Islam, Judaism. The average world that's global are Christians. So if you fall on that range, then obviously you'll call yourself this, but you're not living proof of this. So in regards to the religious aspects, black people say they're this, that, and third, but they're not really living it. So
Right.
to be fair, honest, it's only used as a title to make others feel comfortable. When someone asks you, what's your religion? I'm a Christian. What outcome that person wants when I give them the answer? So if I say I'm of a different religion, are you going to look at me differently? Are you going to lose respect for me? Or are you going to hold your guard? Like I said, religion is a crutch in our communities. Some of us don't live it like we want to. And to be honest with you, when I say black people, the religion is really designed and enforced for others, but keep us mentally enslaved. So that's all.
Well, and I think that's, first of all, the biggest religion is Muslim for right now. Christianity is being spread more. They're trying to get it more places, but most of the world is still Muslim. But here's the thing: whichever religion we pick, I think that the benefit will be that it will give us something bigger than us to believe in, so that when we get down, we don't have to dismantle everything around us in a fit of rage. You can look up to something and put your trust in something when you need to. I think it's what we're doing with religion. We use religion to hit each other over the head. We use religion to judge each other unfairly. We use it to say, oh, well, guess I'm a heathen. I'm just going to embrace my dark side and give up. I think black people use religion wrong. We're not practicing, like you said, what's in the book. So we're reading it, but not practicing it overall. You can't be a gossip and then come back and tell somebody that they wrong for fornicating.
So you saying, Topaz, Islam is a large religion right now in the world?
Yes.
Is there anything you could pull up to verify that? There's some new
yeah. Go ahead. Y'all keep going.
Thank you. I need to see that. Because if that's true, then there should be more Muslims. A lot of black people should not be following no Christianity if Muslims is the highest religion. But you gotta pull up that. I gotta see that. But who's next?
Oh, I can actually answer that question, man. And again, what's your name? Chaos Reigns, right?
Yeah.
Okay, look, man. No disrespect to you. There's not a place on this planet I haven't lived for at least a minimum of a year when I got out of the Marine Corps. I lived in Russia. What do you think the majority of the religion is in Russia? Orthodox, Sunni, Shiite, all Muslim is basically what I'm saying. My belief in the Lord, and I'm not shitting on your point. I understand what you're saying, but a lot of times when the points like that are brought up, they're brought up from a quote unquote black point of view. I'm trying to get away from that because black is not a race. I'm dealing with nationality. Race is a social construct. I am really trying to get away, and I can't wait for Topaz's part 2 on this topic, because in the part 2, and I'll share my email with any of you guys on this panel in the chat. I'm gonna break down and I'm gonna give you biblical facts as well as authors, respected authors, theologians, all these people that are experts in their field that are going to verify some of the things that I'm saying. And it's not because I said it, it's a fact because that's what it is. It's, even if I didn't believe in the Lord, the fact that everybody is shitting on Christianity or Jesus, Yeshua, whatever you want to suffice his name to be, should tell me, why is everybody shitting on him? You can't talk about God in the courtroom. You can't talk about God in the classrooms. You can't talk about God amongst black people. But it's so funny because the scripture tells me that an ox knows who his master is, but my people don't know who his master is. Figure that one out. We keep looking to the man next to us as opposed to looking to the man to the Most High. That's our problem. And I understand coming into this argument that everybody on this panel may not be a genetic Hebrew that is from the tribe or genetic tribe of Hebrew of Israel. They may be from one of the 12 tribes, but they are not from the tribe of Judah. That's the argument that I am bringing forth to people. And the only way for me to prove that argument is for you to take a DNA test. Because once you take a DNA test, what I said can come to fruition. That's all I'm saying.
And I do got to say this, as I'm looking it up, it is more people practicing Christianity. And so I remember the last time I had to look this up, I think it was for me writing an essay or something in college.
That may have to do with China as well. And China has more people down there. They got a lot. Damn, China worse than Mexicans. But yeah, there are a lot of people in China that actually practice that. But what I'm saying is nobody is really shitting on Islam like that. So my thing is, why is everybody trying to get rid of Yeshua or Jesus Christ? That makes me look to him more so and say, okay, I'm gonna give you an example of it in human form or just our illogical form. If a girl keeps hearing the guy tell him, don't fuck with that nigga over there. That nigga is this, that nigga lame, this, that, and the third. What is that girl more times Topaz gonna do in the back of her mind? Why is that nigga not telling me to fuck with him? I want to see what's up with him.
Exactly. I want to know why they're telling me.
It's not.
But see, here's the thing: we can solve that by explaining it the first time. You know,
Right.
Don't say stuff like "do as I say, not as I do." Don't say "because I said so." That's all you need to know. Like, don't say stuff like that because you're leaving people now to their human, their human characteristics.
And that's all I'm saying.
To be learning stuff. So tell them up front in the first place.
And that's all I'm saying, Topaz, because I don't care what comes out of anybody's mouth. Like I said in this live stream over an hour ago, I want you to research what I'm saying because I'm telling you the truth. The next nigga might be lying to you. I don't care how eloquent he say. I don't care how many $20 work. Look, I got accepted when I was a teen into John Hopkins. I didn't go because I was on another bullshit at a younger time. I can change up. I can go to the hood. I can go to the boardroom. I do it here in Atlanta. I work with people. I train them like physical fitness, write meal plans for people. I can change up anywhere. All I'm saying is don't let somebody come up here. I don't care how eloquently they sound. Research what they telling you. And same thing with me. I told you in the beginning of this podcast, look up anything that I said. I ain't told one lie to y'all on this podcast. I haven't. Right. Look up anything I'm saying because I always said, and I hope the other 3 people on this panel, including you, Topaz, say this. Look up anything I'm telling you because I'm telling you the truth. The next person might be lying. As Black people, we have to be that way because if we don't, we allow people to rise up and get over us in social media, public figures. And these people are full of shit, but they'll sell you $1 in a dream.
We got to
you will believe in it. And once you become a made person in Black media, you can't talk about them ever. Barack Obama, Beyonce. I don't care what she do now. She can go out and just go butt naked on the screen. She got a beehive that's going to defend her.
Of course. See, and I just don't like all of the cheapiness that we go through. And I talked about that before in the past. But Triple X, you got it. What do you want to leave the people with that can bring them back for the next installment?
I would just say expect for the next installment, expect the unexpected. Expect the best of Triple X. That's what I would say because I'm really gonna go in depth next time. I would do it now, and to a degree, Mario brought up some good points, but I'm gonna refrain from doing the deep dive because we'll be up here another 3 hours. So, go ahead.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, that also was the topic that Mario put in because me and you had never heard that before. But see, here's the thing. Maybe, with California, y'all get a lot more contact with other people. With Texas, where I'm at least, I mean, we don't have, everybody either comes here from other places in the U.S. or either they come through Mexico or something. We have a small pocket of other people that come here. but the biggest influences still now would be Hispanic people and other
Yeah.
people from the United States. So I hadn't heard of this before, recently. So I think it's best that Mario was the one to go in on that one. And shut up, Mario. I see your little comment.
Yeah, I see that too. I never knew that. I
Yeah,
didn't know
see,
that. Okay.
yeah. Now listen. Now y'all you got to go research that Triple X because Mario said he ain't told not one lie up here. So
Well, that would explain a lot then.
no, it would not explain nothing. I am black AF all the time.
Yeah, man. Hey, look, I just want to finish with this. I want to hear everybody final thoughts, but I'm not really a newcomer. I'm a newcomer to this space, and I
Right.
I thought about making a fitness channel where I wouldn't say anything. I just lift weights and just put the workouts up. I ain't trying to cloud off nobody. I'm just here to just be on this channel. I probably won't make a channel because it come with trolls. I ain't got time for that shit. PTSD and all. I might find a motherfucker and fuck them up, but I like this
See, no, we
space.
can't have that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Knowing thyself. But I'm just happy that I found this space. But as far as it comes to my spirituality or my belief in the Lord, I'm not a newcomer to this. I've been doing this for almost 25 years. I've learned from some of the best people. So you're not talking to somebody. I'm doing this Barney style right now. But if you really want me to go in, I can start with the next podcast. I promise you. Next podcast, I don't care how many followers somebody got. Ain't nobody gonna deal with me after this next podcast. I promise you that. I promise you that.
Well, and you know
wrote
what? But people go off and they sit down and they think about it. And the reasonable people, if what you said was rational and reasonable, they'll come back and they'll be like, "Yeah, I was a little upset, but I'm over it now." Now, we got to watch out for the people who just are willfully, defiantly ignorant. They want to stay outside of knowledge because it's fun. They don't want to change. They don't want to know anything because then they may have to do some work. So,
yeah. In other words, you trying to say in this content space, that's a rabbit hole argument. In other words, you can just eat basically, or what I've learned from therapists and psychologists is a red herring, where I ask you a question, and instead of the person asking my question that I asked, they answer a question that I never asked. It's a rabbit hole argument. I've been doing this stuff forever and a day, like over 25 years of my life. Right. If you're playing with me with that, I don't care what content creator, person listening to me on your podcast right now can go get the content creator they look up to. I'm going to smash him. I'm going to embarrass him because I'm coming to you with my heart, not with my heart, but with my facts. You can not with my facts, just facts in general. It could be Chaos Reign speeding these facts. It could be Let speeding these facts. It could be Topaz speeding these facts. Don't listen. Don't try to discredit the person. Just listen to the message.
Right.
And you ever know?
I had to tell somebody that a couple of weeks ago. Is like, what does my past have to do with the information I'm giving you? If I've done the work and I came up with this information, I'm not telling you to go do the things that I did that I regret. I'm telling you why you don't have to do those things. But you can't follow my advice, and now you got to go do something that you are going to get judged, for doing just to prove me wrong because you don't like something I did in the past. That don't make no sense.
That's the problem, Topaz. See, when you went, I was on the debate. I used to troll nerds in high school to be on the debate team. I've been in every type of debate you can think of. So ain't nobody going to kill me on that. These dudes, what they do is if you get them in an argument, what's the first thing you do? Well, not the first thing. You know how you won the argument? When they start making personal attacks. Yep. Or they'll say, and exclude the personal attacks. They start saying you mean.
Yep.
You hurt my feelings.
Either they'll try to play the victim, or either they'll try to play ad hominem. So either you hurt my feelings and you're mean, or either who hurt you, you're damaged.
And there's two things behind that. They got a bevy of subscribers to hide behind that's gonna come to their defense and fight for them. But what's the other part of that? They never said that you were lying.
Yep.
Bottom line, at the end of the day, I have been called mean for giving people the straight hard truth about themselves in the Marine Corps. 5-time
Okay.
combat vet in the Middle East. I've been all over the world. I've been giving people hard, straight shit about themselves when they come to me and tell them to be the truth about their life. And I look at them and I base up my opinion and my thoughts of what I've seen from them so far. And it goes back to what I said earlier. Most of us would not look in the mirror and say, I ain't shit. I'm a fuck up. And the reason why I am in my life is because of the decisions that I made. I keep blaming other people, even if somebody fucked you over, because most times people have fucked you over. But if you keep allowing people to fuck you over, whose fault is that?
Yeah, there's a difference between victim blaming. Like the first
That's
time,
it.
if don't nobody know this exists, you can't be expected to know. You could have guessed, but you don't have the responsibility to have guessed. But if you keep finding yourself in the same thing, it's because you're not trying to figure out what the end is for these people to do this to you so that you could close that off.
Bottom line, that's all I'm saying. Just look in the mirror and just accept your responsibility, even if somebody played you. Accept your responsibility in being played. Nobody wants to look in the mirror. They keep coming up with all these facts and which are facts. They keep coming
But
up
how are
with
you using them? Like things can be true but not relevant.
Exactly.
I don't like when people bring
Exactly.
up something that's true, but that ain't got nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Exactly. Okay, I'll give you a perfect stat, Topaz. Let me give you a stat that I've used in the past that most niggas have used. The STD rate among black women.
Right.
It's mainly AIDS. They got it at a insane rate over black men. But at the same time, these square ass niggas in this space keep talking about they having sex with 20% of the men, excluding the 80-20 rule, as they say. I just figured this out in weeks. It didn't take that long because remember I told you I'm from the game, so they can't fool me. Most of these niggas that got channels ain't from the game. They just squares and they playing other squares and getting super chats and all. I'm not hating. I understand the game. I'm just saying being real. That's what it is. That's what it is. Because I promise you, if I take them to some of these hoods that I grew up in, them niggas, they wouldn't get out the car. They'll leave. They'll call the police on me. That's all I'm saying is that they playing these guys that don't have the life experience and getting super chats and all that shit from them. They ain't giving them no fucking solution to the problem. I gave you a solution. I said, look in the mirror and say, admit to yourself that I am part of the fucking problem. The only way you're going to fix these problems within the so-called community is to look in the mirror first and self-check yourself. I don't give a fuck about none of your stats. All that shit is true. But what part do you play in it? You can talk about black women spreading STDs and all this, sleeping with only 20% of the men. Just stop, keep your dick in your pants. How about that? We ain't gonna talk about that part. But if I say that, I'm a fucking simp. But understand, I was that nigga. I just got lucky. I didn't get an STD. I didn't get anything. But
Right.
You got these niggas spending on these channels for 5, 6, 7, 8 goddamn hours repetitively talking and getting super chats from niggas, and no solutions is being made. How many? Okay, hypocrisy, because I'm big on that. How many of y'all willing to bet these same niggas listening to all these red pill niggas got OnlyFans accounts?
I don't know.
I'm done.
See,
and on that, I'm done.
What?
On that, I'm done. I want to listen to y'all.
That's not a thing.
Say what?
I say I really hope that that's not a thing. I really hope that
Man, if they ain't got no OnlyFans, Topaz, if they ain't got no OnlyFans, them niggas on Pornhub. You know that. You know that. They obsessed with it. All their argument is, and I'm not disagreeing with the facts, but what part do you play in it? You can't have it both ways. If you want women to change yourself first. Again, remember what we said, Lex and Topaz, in the beginning. The man is the glory of God. The woman is the glory of man. If these women are buck wild out here, what the fuck does that say about you? I'm done.
Right. And I want to let y'all know Paul Graves is going to join the next live stream too. He's been discussing religious points in the chat as well. I've been highlighting them. So I think he has a lot to add to the next stream as well. So I guess my final thoughts, right? I do believe religion is necessary. I feel like it gives us something. Sometimes like let's just be real. It's nice to be aware and awake and physically present, but sometimes anything gets monotonous. You're going to need a break. You get to step out of it for a second. And so one of the things that I like about religion is that I get to see this big, huge expanse around the globe, like in the sky, and I get to see somebody made this way before I was even thought of. This happened, this exists. So there's something out there that is not under my control. It's nice sometimes to not have to be responsible for every single thing. I've heard God being explained as the unexplainable good, and the devil is vice versa, the unexplainable bad, right? Whether you're an atheist, whether you believe like more secularly, whether you have other religions, I think one thing stands the same, right? Is that there are going to be things that you can't explain, things that you can't control. At least with religion, it gives us a place to put it so that we're not spending a whole lot of time talking about it when we're not going to be able to find the answer. When I play like this little game on my phone, there's a part where like the Sudoku game, right? Sometimes you go through it and there doesn't seem to be any answers available until you come up with one. Now that opens up a whole lot of other answers. For sometimes it's time for you to wait. Sometimes you have to make a mistake somewhere so that you can get another alternative, and then that opens up the rest of the answers. All of these things I like to believe, right, have a purpose. It's not just for no reason. I'm just not gonna be able to put the purpose together until I get to the end. It's a way to keep me interested and focused and awake, paying attention in life. And when I need a break, I can pray. I can meditate. I get in touch with a higher vibrational, a signal around me or whatever. But notice how I'm not using none of that to berate or bash anybody else. The only time I even talk about that is either if I need to go do it, or either if I feel like somebody else is struggling and they may help them to be introduced to it. Other than that, all the rest of it, I think a lot of people come down so hard on religion because of how it's used. It's used to try to turn people into a cult, and your humanity is going to push back against that initially. So if we're not using it as a cult, it should be an association. It should be something you join and you have fellowship, all very positive. We can't keep using it negatively, because a world without anything bigger than humans, I think that's when ego is going to come out, and we all know the problem with that, when people's egos get too big. So that's my final thoughts. With that being said, I want to thank everybody to come through. Join us next time for part 2. We're going to be discussing marriage, sex, as well as revelations. So if anybody else wants to join, I did put my email up on the screen. Just shoot me an email and I'll put you in. Also, let me know any additional topics that you might want to have. We'll keep going with this as long as people want to talk about religion. So bye, everybody.
All right. Peace, 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 peace.